All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this week's Tax Rep Network podcast. I am Eric Green. I am joined by who should just be a co-host at this point, Don Brolin for Powerful Accounting. Um, what I wanted to cover, Don, which I think is we're into tax season, obviously, but I'm still getting members saying I should have implemented Ignition. I didn't. I know I should have done it in December, and I've been emailing with them. Do it now. Oh, well, now it's too late. No, it's actually not too late. In fact, now I would argue now's the best time to implement it because you have to implement it, right? Because you want to get this done now. Whereas in December, you'll work on it. Maybe you'll bring some of your clients in. So a couple of things for the folks listening who are not familiar with Ignition. Why don't you describe what Ignition is and what it does?
Sure. Yeah. So Ignition is an amazing engagement letter and payment platform. So essentially allowing you to send your engagement letters, which by the way, you should be sending engagement letters. We should start with that
Yep.
because there are practitioners that we've had on webinars before and other things that aren't even sending engagement letters or having people sign them. And that's mandatory for me,
Well,
right?
it's a Circular 230 due diligence issue. It's an ethical issue because
Right.
what Circular 230, I'll point out, says is that you're supposed to have some rationale if you get selected by the IRS for where the information came from and what you're doing for that client. Hence why, we've been banging the drum on Ignition and Lissio's automated organizer, but, digress on that. But you have an ethical issue. And here's what I'm going to tell everyone. It won't be an issue until it becomes an issue. All right. When it becomes an issue, you now have a big issue because the client now claims you were going to do the returns. I didn't know you had a California. You said you were doing my returns. It was in the pile of stuff I dropped on your doorstep at midnight under a full moon on March 17th. I don't understand how you missed it. Right.
Right.
So you have an ethical issue, but also this is your legal agreement. This is what I've told the client I'm going to do. And I will tell everyone a horror story about this later where I was a little sloppy about this. And it came back to haunt me. I've got two good horror stories, the not getting paid one and how we dealt with that. And then the penalty abatement one, which Bob Percy and I ended up having to like grab shovels and dig our way out of. Um,
Yep.
but Ignition, the beauty of this is it'll send the engagement letter. It will follow up with the client if they don't sign it. It will alert you when it's signed. It'll alert you when you get paid. It will bring all of it into QuickBooks for you. So it's all automated from start to finish. And that for somebody who runs a business is huge. I mean, first of all, you should get paid up front. When you wrap up tax season, let's say October 15th, I would expect you to have 95% of your money in the door. Look, Dawn, not to put you on the spot, but it's February 10th.
Yeah.
Have you been collecting any money so far?
Yeah, so far I have collected $170,000. We're a small firm compared to maybe, firms that are doing thousands of returns. We're doing around 200, 210. And we just have people pay up front. And really what happened for me, it became something that was not going to be negotiable. And I realized that I was always chasing the money, chasing the money. I'm going to get these returns done and then I can bill them. And so now it's reversed. And actually, my mentality around it now is, hey, these people have paid me. The minute they give me their stuff, I need to make sure that return gets done. Like, because now I feel already obligated. I'm now already like, okay, anybody, and the only time we won't work on a return, period, if it's not paid for.
Right.
So people have to pay up front. So I used to have worry about cash flow and making payroll and doing all these things for 23 years until I made the decision that I was not doing that anymore and that I was going to get paid up front. And the biggest thing that I find for people, number one, it would take you maybe an hour or two to get yourself going on Ignition. It's not a big lift to move to a new platform like this. It's a very light lift. It's getting your engagement letters have to get up there, setting up some templates, which Ignition always hands out. I told them they give anybody whatever they want from mine. You give them my engagement letters, but I recommend to people
Yep.
go to your E&O insurance, and because those are the people who are going to defend you in the event of an issue. So we get new ones every year. And let me tell you what, Eric, about that. Those engagement letters do the word and the verbiage and all that stuff does change.
Yep.
So last
Yep.
year, when BOI became a thing,
Yep.
which now it's not a thing, and then it's a thing, and it's not, it is, and it's not. That's a
Yeah,
whole
the
nother
courts are
conversation.
fighting that out now. Yeah.
Yeah, they're fighting. So, I just realized that I get those engagement letters from my E&O insurance. I know that I'm covered. We get all that done. But it's the biggest problem that I find practitioners. I coach some firms and moving in this direction and helping them get over the finish line. And once they do it and they get it set up, people are just like thrilled. Like firm owners that are getting paid up front. They're not waiting for payment. We're not reconciling accounts receivable, which I did that for years, where Tracy would like she'd be watching the tax returns get out, go out. She'll double check to see if they've paid. She goes right into the QuickBooks file, see if they got paid. And she used to reconcile it out. And there were times when she's like, Dawn, here's the list of everyone that you didn't bill for their tax return, and here are the amounts. You've got to collect another 8 grand. I'm like, what an idiot. So I look dumb because this is now August by the time Tracy can reconcile it. And now that's hours of time that I'm paying Tracy to do reconciliation to make sure I got paid by everybody. When I go to, I won't file the return until they pay me. That's the way I used to do it. But that eliminated the issue of how many days did you have the 8879 before you have to, you have to file the return if it's been signed within, I think it's 3 days or something like that, right?
Yeah, no, and well, I mean, look, from the IRS's perspective, they don't care whether they don't care if you get paid or not. You're a paid preparer. You're supposed to have that stuff signed before you hit send. Now,
Yep.
the other thing, I can tell you, so from a tax rep perspective, our templates are also in Ignition. And that does two things. In fact, Dawn, you pointed this out to me. One is, of course, you have the template letter you can send. That's also a script. So if you're new to this and you get on with a client, just follow the script. We've explained how offers work, non-filers, what you need to do. But my horror story, um, it's chaotic. It's always chaotic. We're constantly getting calls. If you're not doing rep, you really should, because huge demand. And I just did a video with Carlos Samaniego. We just did a podcast on, what to do if, Trump really guts everything. It's all just going to move to automation. So clients aren't going to be able to get to a human being because there aren't going to be that many. So the demand for our services, I think, is going to continue to skyrocket. Well, we get an offer done. I send it out to the client. They sign it, send it back. And that's when Nicole walks in and says, they never paid. So what do you mean they didn't pay? They never paid. They signed the letter, signed the power, sent up their documents. We just missed it. I mean, and so I emailed the client and I said, we need the retainer. And by the way, now we're not taking just the first half and the second. We need the whole thing. And they emailed back saying, well, I'll pay you if you get this through. I was like, no, 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 no. And they basically were like, no, that's the way it's going to work. I'm like, well, I'm throwing this in the shredder. I'm revoking my power of attorney. I wish you the best of luck. Ultimately, we got paid. But I don't know about you, that's not the way I want to run my practice.
No.
I have EAs and CPAs telling me in December they're trying to collect before the next tax season. I'm like, you're collecting in December this year? Don't you want to defer that? No, they're trying to collect last year or the current year, April and October. I'm like, now in December? I hope you didn't file the returns. Oh, no, no, we filed them. You're on the hook for that. So, so
Hmm.
what this will do, first of all, it's going to save you all the nonsense of chasing your AR. It is very simple. I mean, we do that. It's very simple to set somebody up, get the letter out. And I've had folks say, well, Eric, that's great. How do I charge? There might be a change this year. You know what you charged last year, or what you quoted them if they're a new client.
Yep.
You're going to add in your current increase, whatever that is. You're going to bill that. If this year they have another Schedule E, they have another Schedule C, they have something. Nicole was here. We have somebody now that wants us now to deal with New Jersey. We dealt with Connecticut, and they said, well, can you handle New Jersey? Yeah, we can get you into a payment plan, no problem. She went in, added that in. I think 15 minutes, out with the letter. It's a very simple, easy thing to add and send out. So one, you don't have to, it's not that difficult. But even if you're in the middle of tax season, you're like, look, I'm not going to do this. If after April 15th, you've just got that stuff to chase, okay, I can live with that. If you had 90% of your money by April 15th, all right, and you're going to chase the other 10%, that's the kind of stuff you can work on a weekend in May when you're not golfing or something. But
Right.
this idea that you're going to try to get out 300, bills and get paid in August, no, bad way to be practicing. So,
Yeah.
first of all, from an efficiency perspective, you're right, Don. It took us a while to put up our engagement letters, but after that, it just runs basically on automation. Um, Number one. Number two, it will follow up with them. If they don't sign and pay, it automatically follows up. We would forget about it. I mean, like maybe
Yep.
that when that person didn't pay, we're too busy.
Uh-huh.
But the other thing that's great about it is it will alert you when they've signed, when they pay. When all of that is done, it'll also, if you use QuickBooks, I think most of you probably do, it will automatically put all that in QuickBooks. So just from a input, chasing your AR efficiency, you're going to save, I'm going to guess, at least 100 hours
Yeah.
if you factor all of that in. All right.
Yep.
You're going to avoid doing free work, which is critical. And by the way, even if you never got the other 10%, I bet most people could live with that. If you, and when you looked at your AR last August or whenever, and I said, click this button, you'll get 90% of it up front. Most people will be like, done, deal. I'll take the 90% up front rather than chasing people. All right. So that should be the worst thing that ever happens to you. But again, what I think you'll find is what Nicole found is right midstream, we can always get out that extra letter and get paid. It once
Exactly.
everything's set up, it's done for you.
Yeah, it's really easy. I mean, and for me, and it also like tracks who you've collected from. It'll tell you how much you're gonna. And so I log in Ignition. That's the first thing I open every morning.
The dashboard. Yeah.
The dashboard. I want to see how much money did I collect while I was sleeping,
Hmm.
and then when is it going to hit my bank account?
Right.
And it will change your entire life when it comes to cash flow. It definitely did for me. I mean, I collect all this money up front and I get that money working for me right away. That money's in a 5% money market, making 5% right now, and it's just sitting there because I don't need it. And the other thing just to, throw in, because I'm always going to throw in relationship pricing, the ability to send out an engagement letter for a new client for like literally just got another email this morning from a client that I talked to last week, and I said, I think we can get your stuff done for 750 a month. And he emailed me this morning, awesome, what do we do? Engagement letters on its way. It's maybe 4 clicks. Engagement letters out the door on recurring, 750 every month. And we live all that is essentially for us because of the way we've changed, number one, subscription pricing, relationship pricing. They loved the word relationship pricing. When I told them, at first I'm like, oh, it's subscription pricing. I'm like, well, it is subscription pricing, but I call it relation. They were like, oh, I love that. That's awesome.
And
And we're signing people up left and right.
for folks who are listening, Dawn and I just did this, I think about a month ago on the
Yep.
podcast discussing how to work with your accountant. And we talked about relationship pricing. And what it does is one for your cash flow, right? 750 a month, you got them at 9,000, but it allows you to work with the client the way you're supposed to. Meet with them quarterly, review everything, actually provide what to me is the most interesting part of tax is the consulting, the advising, the planning. The return is the report card after the fact. And so
Oh, you want to make tax season more efficient and easy. Number one, make people pay up front. Use a tool like Ignition where you can do a video to explain what your changes were. If we make changes to your process or anything, you can explain that to them. This is what we're doing this year, so on and so forth. And then that's one critical factor. Getting your business clients into subscription pricing so you're getting paid every single month. Because essentially, like you said, Eric, I love that. You're working with them all year round. You knew they bought a new truck, they traded in this other truck. You can get that journal entry done during the year, ready to go. So when tax season comes, it's so easy to prepare. The tax returns are so easy now than they ever were before we were doing subscription relationship pricing because we were just flying by the seat of our pants, our hair's on fire, we're not giving good service, we're just doing tax returns. And we realized that since you work with them all year round, the tax return process is so much easier. We don't have Nicole banging her head against the wall. And we got all the money in the world. So essentially, all that money comes in for the tax returns
Yep.
is gravy because you're living off of the relationship pricing clients on a monthly basis, which we're at 40,000 a month.
Right.
That's what we're paying ourselves off. That's how we pay ourselves, pay for our bills, pay for all that stuff. And then, for me, it's an extra $150,000 every year that is money I didn't need.
And less work
Less
because
work.
you're not crazy now during tax season. This is literally, I first heard, um, I'm mind blanking on his name now, who first talked to you about subscription pricing. It's
Oh, Mike Triantos from Giraffe.
yeah. Um, when I first heard it, I was like, yeah, good luck selling anyone on that. And then when I began to think about it, if you go to your clients and you said to them, well, you got to pay me quarterly for the review. And then you know what happens? They begin viewing everything as a la carte. Well, I don't think I need four reviews. I need this. What I like about this is how we work with you. And if you don't like it, go somewhere else. Go to H&R Block. Go somewhere. No knock on them. If that's all you want, then by all. And by the way, there are some people that's all they need. They're W-2 employees. Go to H&R Block. Get your return done. You're fine. You don't need to spend any more money. But if you're a business owner, the advantage of Dawn, the benefit of Dawn is getting input and ideas and thoughts and planning ideas, and all of the kind of financial maneuvers. People think, well, rich people can pay big for. Well, yeah, look, if you want to do a big M&A deal, that's a different issue. But no, it's really finding someone of quality that you can talk to and think through. You cannot do that if you're dumping everything on them in March for tax season.
Exactly.
They have no time to give you. It's a post-mortem at that point.
Yeah,
Whatever's
there's no
done is
strategies happening at
right.
all.
No, no, no. The point is to do this during the year. And in a way, the only thing better I could think of would be if you had your own full-time CFO. And most people don't need a full-time CFO,
Right.
but here you've got access to that kind of expertise, and for a whole host of reasons. First of all, number one, for the client, um, they one can bounce things off you when it's happening in real time, so you can
Exactly.
actually advise them. Two, you know where your cash flow is. And three, if you actually do grow and now you want to start looking at bank financing, they're going to want your numbers. Isn't it great to be like, oh yeah, no problem. I'll have my CPA just get that over to you tomorrow. Versus, oh, we have to get our stuff together, right? And you don't even know what to tell them because you don't know what your last 3 years really look like.
Right.
Um, but here, so the whole thing starts to bring this back full circle. The whole thing starts with automating everything you can automate if you're a tax pro. This is a no-brainer. It automates the letter. So one, you're checking your ethics box, right? Two, I've got all my engagement letters. So if the IRS shows up or that client claims they told you something they didn't, you're going to do something. Oh, and that's right. I got to talk to you about scope because I've got a good horror story in this, which has
Mm.
led me to here. Um, get your money up front. I can assure you, all of you be feeling way better about tax season if you knew you were going to have all the money in the bank when you closed up on April 15th and went home or
Yep.
vacation or whatever. Um, but the thing that's so important about engagement letters, which is why it's shocking to me that people don't use them. Um, we had one and I just misworded it. We'll get you penalty abatement. First of all, you never say that. I don't know if I can get you penalty abatement. I don't know what you've done, haven't done, whatever. And
Right.
we ended up, again, Bob Percy and I ended up in kind of this push-pull with a client who who wasn't exactly um, truthful in what had happened. And they tried to use that letter as a club against us. If you are a CPA, by the way, I know Dawn mentioned this stuff changes every year.
Mhm.
If you're a CPA, the AI CPA puts out a module with all of their actual recommended letters. So if you're a CPA, you can get that from the AICPA, and you've got sample letters on all of this. If you're a tax rep member, we have letters in our members area. Um, but it is very critical that this get reviewed. Another good one who can probably give you recommended letters would be your malpractice carrier, your errors and omissions
Yep.
carrier, because they're going to have to defend these things. And so it's
Yep.
always good to get from them and their lawyers what they recommend in terms of language.
Yep.
Um, but it's critical to have that signed. It's critical to get paid up front. And as Don said, this is not a heavy lift. I know it's February. We're recording this on February 10th. It'll be out this week. It'll be posted in the next day or two. You can implement this tonight. All right. Even if you just take your next 20 clients you're going to see and put them in, right?
Yeah.
Sign up with Ignition, put them in. But you can get all your clients in, get your letters in. Yes, you'll invest a couple hours. You will make that back 50-fold in
Oh,
saved
easy.
hours, time, headache, stress, cash flow.
Yep.
Guaranteed.
100%. Yep. Yeah. And it really, I sit down and there's a way you can bulk renew and there's other things so people can hear that. But I definitely find that I really enjoy getting the engagement letters out because I know like I'm going to get paid.
All right.
And so, I mean, it just is a different mindset. And now all you got to do is get to work. Now it's just about let's get these returns done. Our relationship pricing clients, this is something really important. So they get a relationship pricing engagement letter. And it's all about what we will do, what we're not going to do, all those things for the year for you, because it's a 1 year commitment. Um, and then what ends up happening is we still send them an engagement letter. So let's say it's an S corp return with two shareholders, and in our relationship pricing, we group it all in. So they're going to get their business and personal tax returns, right? So we send that out, and then we send a $0, no payment required tax engagement letter to them. So they get a relationship pricing one, but they also always get the tax one at a $0 because it's a different engagement than the subscription pricing. The relationship pricing is a different engagement than the tax. Really important.
Yeah. No, and right now, given the time of year, I would get Ignition set up. I would get your engagement letters for the returns. That's the problem in front of you. After tax season, when you talk to Dawn and you consult with her and you start implementing your relationship pricing, you'll get a new letter out for that. In fact, honestly, I could actually see the benefit of having them run at different times of the year so you don't get the multiple letters confused. You've got your relationship pricing letter, and then you've got your tax season
Yeah.
return.
And then off you go. And it's made all the difference in the world to be able to get that, to get into the relationship pricing is critical. Ignition handles all of that. You could give people options. I choose the plan for them. That's how I do it. When I first started, I was like, oh, I'll send it out and they can choose whether they want 750, 1500, or 2500. They don't know what they need. So I tell them what they need. This is where so I'll have a conversation with them. We'll get on a Zoom call. I look at their books. I look at their prior year return, all this stuff. And then I go, all right, knowing you need to do X, Y, and Z and know that you're buried under paper. I have a brewery that's just coming on actually. Sent out their engagement letter last week, and they're going to be 1,500 a month because they're moved locations. They've got a rental property, which is not that big of a deal, but they got the brewery. They're going to need some help with implementing some systems, internal controls, and things like that. So, they're at 1,500 a month. Which is, I mean, last year I think, oh my goodness, they paid $800 for their partnership return. $800. And I said to them, I knew why they were leaving, why they wanted to come to me. They were like, yeah, I mean, they don't get us our stuff. They keep asking us questions in July and August, and I don't understand, and blah, blah, blah. I said, you're definitely getting what you pay for. You're paying them $800 and they're not giving you any attention, and your stuff isn't done on time.
That's why they can't afford to give you any attention.
They can't afford it. And
Yep.
I know the firm that they're coming from, and they're local to here, to where I am, and they do thousands, I'm sure, of returns, and they kind of do everything. They do all kinds of different stuff, but they undercharge so severely. And I tell the clients, anybody that's in my local area, I'm like, I am the most expensive accountant probably in Connecticut. I can say that fairly boldly, I think. And it's because I value my work. I value my experience. I value my education. I value the hours of CPE. I value all of that stuff. And the experience I've had for 25 years, that's what they're going to pay for. And so, and they'll come to me and they're like, yeah, it makes sense. And I'm like, well, it sounds to me like we got quite a mountain to climb for you. So it's going to be 18 grand a year. And they were like, that's a big jump from 800. And I was like, I'm going to give you what you need.
But again, here's all the stuff that we're going to do that you should be doing that you're not.
Yeah,
And no,
it's
it,
beautiful.
yeah, it
And
is
and collecting used to be the nightmare, Eric. It was a nightmare chasing people for money. And here's another one. Tracking the number of the hours that you spend working, like you're billing by the hour, so you're tracking your time and you're billing by the hour at $100, $200 an hour. Is that all you value yourself as? Like, I just think that's crazy. How are you putting an hourly rate on yourself? And I did that for years, don't get me wrong. But now it's like, hey, it's gonna, how long it's gonna take? However long it takes to get the job done.
right.
So our firm goal, no extensions this year, unless there's a K1.
Mhm.
This particular brewery that's coming to me, they want to be doing have their stuff done on time, all these other things. And one of the partners was my individual tax client. And he's like, I don't want to be waiting for my K1 anymore. I want Dawn to do our partnership return so we can get it done on time and all this other stuff. So it's like beautiful. So, and when people see that you can get their work done right away, and when they email you or call you, you can talk to them or you can email them back right away. Clients are like, I can't believe how quickly you respond to us. And I'm like, number one, I put this really important rule in my email, Eric. So go to your rules in your email and move any email that has unsubscribe in it, have it go to one certain folder. My inbox is just about empty because all that junk you get in the mail. So I got rid of that anyway. But the point is that, the amount of time that I have now to do whatever I want to do, I'm making plenty of money. I'm, very thankful for that. Trust me. Um, and Ignition is what totally turned around my cash flow. 100%. I took a stand. I had the guts to charge people up front, and I will never go back.
Right. No. And so the lesson from this week is it's not too late to do this. I know we're into February. It's not too late to do this. Go ahead. I would go sign up with Ignition, get this done now. And what you're going to find is the cases with the clients with Ignition, they are going to run on autopilot. They're going to run on autopilot. You're going to get paid up front. And the only thing you're going to regret is why you didn't get everything done beforehand and get everyone in on this. All
Yep.
right. But starting now, I would implement it going forward. It is not a heavy lift. We're not talking about you're killing yourself now, right? Because you're already busy enough. Get this implemented. Uh, the hardest thing to do is get started. So just go and get started.
Yep. Make the commitment and do it. And, and if you want somebody to kick your butt to make you do it, call me because I will.
Contact on. So,
Yeah.
so this, yep.
Yeah. I'm not going to let you get away with the excuses. I can tell you that right now because there is no excuse not to get this going and get you your money up front.
So, guys, listen, thank you for tuning in. I hope we have given you some motivation to go and implement Ignition now. When you get off this podcast, go do it. All right.
Yep.
Really, you will be thrilled that you did. All right. Otherwise, thanks for tuning in. I'm Eric Green. Dawn, thanks for doing this.
Always.
All right. You can always reach out to Dawn Brolin if you need a slap in the side of the head. And she's good at that.
Yep.
And see you on next week's podcast.
Take care, everybody.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the discussion with me and Dawn. There's a special offer from Ignition that you can do and implement this right now. What it'll do, it'll save you 50% off for the first 3 months, which will get you through tax season. Okay. 50% off the first 3 months off a Pro or Pro Plus plan. All right. The discount code TRN25, as in Tax Rep Network, the year 25. So TRN25, one word, that'll get you 50% off 3 months, a Pro or Pro Plus plan with Ignition. It will literally change your practice and, frankly, change your life in the terms of what you'll get back in terms of time, getting your money up front, and just the headache and the stress saved by just automating this. All right. So go out to ignitionapp.com, all one word, ignition app as an app.com, and use discount code TRN25, save 50% off the first 3 months, Pro or Pro Plus.